Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, so the first thing I'm going to point out is we do have this ugly looking inverse head and shoulders here. Nevertheless, it is the same structure and it means the same thing, same psychology behind the move here as any clean looking inverse head and shoulders. So you do have this. You started sweeping down there. All right, shorts got squeezed up there. And what does this effectively do? It does put you in it puts in a short-term higher low. You break out from that, and then you have this. What do we have? We have a higher high. So short term here, I do think it is more likely that we go up from here than fall under here, but I'm going to show you what to be watching out for. If we do decide to start losing the zone right here, which, the level we're watching is 456.43. That's where you stalled out over here. It was the high of over here. And then if you really want, you can put the zone on your chart. And if you do start to lose that, I think there's a solid chance you come down here and lose that. And then we would be testing 452 again. And we could do what I was talking about. I think it's in Friday's video, where we could just develop this big old trading range. I was being reminded of, where was it? It was all the way back over here when we were just chip chopping around. You had over here, you were in this big trading range until the floor dropped out, and then you had a pretty significant move lower there, 23 bucks. I'm not saying we do end up stalling out, but I'm definitely going to remind everyone I do think upside is limited if you're trying to trade the upside right here, because guess what? You're still in the supply zone until you reach 462. And if you do get past there, that is when you have no resistance till all the way up here. I don't think it's personally worth the risk to reward to be trading long up here. And you don't have a signal to be trading short yet here until you break 452. And that is where you can be starting to see something like this. And you can risk up here, but guess what? Since you, if you're going to risk along at 450 to 448.50 down here, it should be a demand zone now. You had it all the way over here. That is where you slice through it like butter over there. But if you really want to do so, just know you will have a start to a downtrend. So more likely, I think you would just hop up to 452, and then we probably come down here. And this is personally where I would be definitely risking along for a move back up. If we were to get something like that, maybe it's like boom, stall out there, boom. But that, this is where the setup is going to be. My personal opinion, I don't think indexes are going to be providing the best setups here. I do think individual tickers are going to be providing better setups, and I think that is where the money is at. Why? Because SPY and QQ are almost to all-time highs here. You also have DIA not too far off of all-time highs here. Let's just see about that one right there, right? 4% away. So they're all within like 4 to 7% off all-time highs. A lot of people, a lot of big money. Well, I'm not talking about the people with money like us. I'm not talking about FOMO. Well, I am talking about FOMO, but I'm not talking about the little guys FOMOing. I'm talking about the big boys with billions of dollars FOMOing. You really think they're going to be FOMOing into the indices at all-time highs? They could, but more likely they're going to be pumping individual tickers like our buddy Neo over here. Let's just look at this monthly chart right there. That is pretty sexy. Let's just take off all the clutter. There you go. All right. They're more likely going to be doing things like this. And if you were trading in 2021, then you do remember January and February when you just had all of these tickers just absolutely pumping to the moon. All right. End of 2020, beginning of 2021. They just went ticker by ticker. And then you had our baby PLTR. This is actually why I started my channel. I used to cover PLTR. That was so if you guys are still out there, maybe I only had like, I think I got up to like 500 subs just covering PLTR. So if you're still around, hey, you're a real one, and you're part of the early squad here. But this is what I think we can start to see if we start seeing these indices approach all-time highs, and the risk to reward on the indices just won't be there. Now, it is the last day of the month here. We have an hour and 22 minutes till close, 2:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Does this monthly candlestick look bearish to you guys? I understand it doesn't have increasing volume here, but I would argue that this looks more of a continuation candlestick than a reversal candlestick like this one or this one. You got this bearish engulfing, you got that bearish engulfing. Right, it just doesn't look too bad to me. It really doesn't. It looks like the market wants to continue up. Maybe it starts getting sluggish up here, and that's why I say, like, hey, risk to reward. I don't think it's going to be found on the indices. I will, since there's not much to report to you guys on the charts today on SPY and QQ, I will let you in on a ticker that I think is starting its breakout today, depending on this daily close, but I'll put it on your radar it is something that I will be playing, and I think more people in the Discord will be playing. I think it's going to be a pretty solid one. All right, just like we had Neo. I think that started 2 weeks ago. No, it was last week. We ended up seeing the big break on Neo. All right, but over here on QQQ, did come up to the top here. What I was looking for is if you do end up getting a close over this level right here, then we are looking for a move up to here. And that was a long setup that I shared in the weekly update. I ended up sharing that one. That's really the only long I would be taking. All right, I don't think it's worth trading this chop. I really don't. But I also don't think it's worth trading that. If you do get over 390, that is when you have the door wide open to pretty dang stinking close to all-time highs here. And yeah, that is definitely something I probably will be taking. Definitely something I like. But as of right now, guys, you are looking like you are going to either come back down here or you're going to push back up here. All right, you did see buyers make a higher high here compared to over there with this candlestick right here. So, you know, buyers are, I'm not going to say they're in control here, but they're definitely, you know, taking the lead. I think it's still a battle we're seeing right there. This, when you see chop, guys, there's just a complete balance right now. All right, sellers and buyers are both convicted, or they're both unconvicted, and we need a catalyst to come around and break us out of this little trading range. But yeah, the level you're going to be watching is down here at 379.93. If you do break under there, then we're looking for you to come all the way back down here at 374 to 375. And if you do break under 374, you do have confirmation that you do have a downtrend over here. So unlike SPY, which would just be starting the first thing, you would have the lower low if you did that. So it would be starting the transformation into a downtrend. If you break under 452, QQQ would have confirmation of a downtrend. So that is something that you could then take to on something like this. Boom, boom, boom. There's your entry right here on the retest, or you just take an aggressive thing right here, but you're probably going to see buyers step up right here at this breakout of 373. So I would be taking the retest there. But again, indices, I don't think you're going to be providing too much. All right, I'll actually put two stocks on your radar. I have a few that I'm watching here that are just looking absolutely monstrous. But yeah, let's go over to those. All right, Affirm. All right, so that is number one. I want to point out Affirm. If you do get the daily breakout above this trend line, I do think you have a clear shot to come up here to 22. So that is a pretty nice move on contracts if you would like to play that. But I like this. You do have increasing volume on this breakout here. You already did have the hourly breakout. You came back and back tested, and now you're pushing right back up. So buyers clearly are in control on this. They want the daily close over it. As long as we do get the daily close over it, I think you are going to see a swift move up to 22 and then 27 up here. Obviously, you know, sellers could end up stepping in right here. All right, so that is where, you know, that's where you start scaling out, and then you leave runners for up there. So that is something I'm paying attention to. But I want to point out, Affirm does like its, you know, downtrend breaks here. It's trend line breaks. You had this one. You came back on the daily chart, and I believe, no, you didn't backtest this one. You just went off the races after that. That is more similar to what I think we're going to be getting right here. And then you had the same thing happen over here, and then you bounced up. All right, you formed this next trend line, but then you came back, you back tested this, and then you ended up going off the race. So we do know Affirm respects its trend lines. The second one I want to put on your radar, which is just Baba. I think this is absolutely monstrous. All right, it's absolutely monstrous, and I'll give you a sneak peek to what I shared with the Discord today. I saw this while I was out on my phone. All right, look at this bad boy right here. Right, I did not see this before. I knew Baba was a very sexy setup. If you get over 105, it does have earnings right over here, right? So the next Thursday, it's not this Thursday, so we could just see an earnings run up. Or if you see a pullback into this, the entry would beat off of 97, and then you would be playing for a move up to 120. But yeah, guys, if you get over 105, you have no resistance. I mean, you have this gap resistance right here. So this starts around like 113, but I don't think it's anything strong. It's nothing major, right? What you're really watching is a move towards 120. And I think that is going to be very sexy. And what do we also have on the monthly time frame? We have this inverse head and shoulders neckline that aligns perfectly with 105. So like all around, guys, I think that would be your aggressive entry right there. Yeah, of course, you can wait for the re-entry. You could do, you know, this on the monthly time frame. So you'd be watching the daily, looking for, I did that wrong, but you would be looking for something like that. But regardless, guys, I do think these things are just getting queued up. All right, just getting queued up. I will give you a thing that, so I just started using this, and I was just looking around for several tickers. All right, this thing has not fired off along yet. So I want to just point that it's on the monthly chart, but on the weekly chart, this is actually the first week you're firing off along. And if you look back, all right, you know, you had this was your first week right here that you fired off along, and that was a, you know, I think it was an 18% week if you include that. No, 21% week. So I don't know how this week is going to go, but I do think this looks extremely sexy coming right into this. And if you do have a sick, nasty day that just breaks above here, that is when things can get pretty spicy over here. And that is, you know, that would be that. All right. But those are the two that I will share with you guys. I do hope everybody has a lovely rest of your day, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.